Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. We are getting into the weekend. Today's audio is going to be about the difference between detaching and distancing because it's not the same thing. And I have noticed that there is a lot of, that I had a lot of clients and in general that there is a lot of people who are kind of under the impression that that is the same and that don't truly understand what detaching means. We already have a lot of audios on detaching. If you haven't listened to them, please do, because in every each one I do explain it a bit differently. I focus on different things. I view it from a different angle, so they're not just the same thing repeating over and over again. And I think that in this way it does definitely help to understand it better and to let it sink in better. So today we're gonna be basically explaining why it's different than distancing yourself from somebody. Now, as we have said before, detaching does not mean that you are moving on in a way that you are moving on from your feelings that you have towards a specific person, your target. It doesn't mean that. That's not the point, and we don't want that, because why are we trying to bring this person back if you're gonna be like moving on and detaching? Obviously, that is not what your spell work is for. It's not for you to move on, it's for you to reconcile. So, detaching absolutely does not mean that you need to move on, that you need to forget about this person, that you need to stop loving this person, that you need to stop thinking about this person, hoping that this person will be back. None of that. Okay. And I've noticed that so many people think that this is what attaching is. Absolutely not. It also doesn't mean that you should go no contact. Again, the thing with no contact, I'm aware that it's very popular in general because, some relationship coaches are all about no contact and they claim if you go no contact, the other person has to reach out. That is actually not the case. They don't have to, and a lot of them will not. So no contact isn't that some magical technique that makes your person reach out. It's not. So if you are in no contact, then majority of the time this person has chosen to go no contact, or maybe they blocked you even. And this is a specific situation that we are working on, obviously together, as well as if you will be advised whether, regarding contact or whatever, according to your specific situation. But the point here is absolutely not to go no contact if there is contact. If there isn't contact, if it's already no contact, then we're gonna wait for the person to reach out, but we're gonna do it with spell work, not by just keeping no contact. And sometimes you will need to be the first to reach out, especially if it's a male to female connection, if you're a male and the target is female, but not always. So it's absolutely going to depend, obviously, on your wants and also like on the situation. So it doesn't mean going no contact. It doesn't mean blocking the person. Obviously, if you want them back, if you want to reconcile, if you want them to reach out, they should be able to do it. So no blocking them. Okay. I had a client recently, and quite a difficult situation that we are working on. And we did a skull spell last month, I believe. Yeah, last month. So that would be October. Uh, yeah, I think we did it in October. Yes. And he was in no contact with his ex, and he really loves her and wants her back, but it's a very complex situation. And what happened was, she actually emailed him, and he did not get the email because he blocked her. He blocked her and forgot her. He has her blocked on email. So a few days later, she actually called him and told him about that email, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I blocked you." So yeah, do not block your person, because if you block them, how are they gonna reach out? So, anyways, where was I? Yes, it doesn't mean blocking them. It doesn't mean necessarily going no contact. It doesn't mean forgetting about them. It doesn't mean moving on. It doesn't mean stop loving. It doesn't mean stop thinking. That is what detachment is not. Very important. It's also not distancing yourself. So if you are in contact with your person and if you suddenly decide to go cold or to go no contact or to start being um avoidant and things like that, it is not detaching. Okay, so number one, it will not lead you anywhere. Sometimes, we will use some techniques of, not replying as quickly, not reaching out as much. That's good in some situations if, we need to create them to miss you and things like that. Give them space, all of that. But this is not detaching. Distancing yourself, going cold on a person is not detaching, because when you decide to become colder or to distance yourself, it's a reaction. It's also you being reactive. So it's not detachment, it is attachment. You are attached and then you're like, oh, now I'm gonna reply after 2 days because they have. So sometimes it is a good technique to use, right, if you'll be advised to do something like that. But it is not detaching. It's not detaching, it's reacting. It's maybe even like returning to somebody with the same energy, things like that. We could call it all sorts of stuff, but it's definitely not detaching. It's not detachment, it is a different thing. So people often think that this is detaching. It's absolutely not. So, what is detachment? Let's go through this again. Detachment is detaching from your anxieties. It's detaching from that attachment. That's why it's called detachment. So, detaching from the attachment. It doesn't mean that you're no longer interested in a person if you detach from the attachment. Absolutely not, because secure people, when they fall in love, they are not anxiously attached, obviously. So, that's the only thing we are doing here. And this is good for the spell, obviously, because you need to be aligned, but it's also good for your mental health because you don't want to be suffering in the endless anxiety. It's terrible, it's horrible, and you want to be at peace, you want to feel better. So, detaching is focusing on yourself. It doesn't mean that you're no longer interested in your person. It doesn't mean that you can't think about them or daydream about them. You can. You're just not going to be doing it obsessively. You're not going to be checking where they are. You're not going to be checking lost online. You're not going to be like obsessively thinking, what if they're with somebody else now? What if they never come back? What if? You're not going to be overthinking the situation, but you absolutely can daydream about them, remember some nice things about them, think about them. It's even impossible to stop thinking about somebody just like that, obviously. So it's absolutely allowed. It doesn't mean that. It only means that you need to detach from that neediness, from those type of feelings. So it needs to become this healthy desire. It can stay a desire, obviously, it needs to stay a desire, but like a healthy desire. Like maybe you are desiring something and you're not obsessed over it and you're not needy for it. So that type of desire, a really healthy desire, but not like an anxious, needy, desperate one. That is the only thing that you need to do. And yes, I know this can be challenging for people who are, quite prone to anxieties. And I fully understand that. And this is why we are working on that. So everybody can detach. I know it seems for some of you that you can't because you're very attached, but you can. It's not that big of a problem. You can detach, you can focus on yourself, and your life is going to be better when you do. And all you need to do is actually try and actually follow the advice and actually do it and not just listen about it, because that is not how you detach, obviously. So I hope this was helpful. I wish you a beautiful weekend, guys, and I'm going to talk to you soon. Bye.